Hi, I'm Anne. I'm the Director of Governance at Remedy Healthcare. I started my career as a physiotherapist many years ago and used that profession to work in the UK and abroad. And then I morphed into what was then clinical governance. And then my role expanded to include health and safety and clinical audit. And then I moved into a position of Deputy Director of Integrated Governance in an acute trust. And that was it was just over 20 years ago. And so I've been a governance specialist, a governance assurance and risk management specialist for over 20 years. During that 20 years, I've worked in acute hospitals, I've worked in the community setting, I'm now working in the private setting. I've also worked abroad twice and come back to the UK. I've worked for myself as director of my own company, and my most recent role was the Deputy Director of Governance in the NHS, that is, at the Walton Centre NHS Trust. I currently work for Remedy as the Director of Governance, and I think that all the experience and skills and knowledge I've gained throughout my profession have enabled me to bring something really special to Remedy, in that my values echo their values, which echo the values of the NHS, and that is, we all put the patient experience at the front and centre of everything we do, and one doesn't get that in other organisations. I also chair the Governance Assurance and Risk Network, which has been shortened to Garnet, and that's a group of like-minded individuals that meet on a quarterly basis to talk informally and in a safe space about governance-related issues. So this is a dead easy question for me to answer, because it was so clear to me. When I met with Matt, who's our CEO, he was talking about the values of Remedy. And you can speak to anybody in any trust in the country and in any private sector organisation, in a community, social care, and they'll say, oh, our values are blah, blah, blah. And being a CQC specialist advisor, doing inspections in hospitals, you ask people what the values are, and they say them, but they don't necessarily mean them or know exactly what they are. It's just something that's learnt so that they can respond to an inquiry. It was different with Matt and Oliver, the meeting I had with both of them. Within the first few minutes, they'd said that their main value is to do the right thing by the patient. And again, okay, you can say that, but carrying on with the conversation with Matt and Oliver, and everything that Matt's enforced ever since that meeting, they are so committed to doing the right thing. And that comes from the very senior leadership, from the Chief Executive Officer of the organisation. So that behaviour will be cascaded and is cascaded down through the organisation. And it's not just said, it's believed and it's embraced. I can give you a great example from my perspective. So the reason I'm saying that now is because governance is it's something that not many people really understand. And if they do understand it, they would maybe pay lip service to it because it's something that's last on the agenda. Now, in my opinion, good governance equals improved patient safety and improved quality of care. If you don't have good governance and you don't respect the governance systems and processes, then the organisation, in my opinion, is subject to fault, I suppose. Things can go wrong quite easily. So the example I'm quoting, and I know that was a long way around to get to that, but the example is on our board meeting, governance and clinical risk is at the top of the board agenda. So first thing we have is the medical director report. The second thing and the third thing are the Director of Governance report and the Director of Nursing report. Then the other directors report in, with the director, the CEO reporting in at the end of the agenda. And that tells me that the importance is on the clinical element of the agenda. Finance, ops, commercial, all very, very important. But that's us demonstrating our commitment and the importance of the clinical element, the clinical governance perspective of the organisation. So to answer your question, that's why I joined Remedy, because in my experience, it means what it says. It really does commit to patient safety and good governance, and therefore it's a very well managed, efficient, effective organisation which provides the right treatment to the right patient at the right time.